Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about social anxiety and how to overcome it. If you're someone who struggles with social anxiety, you know just how difficult it can be to navigate social situations. The fear of being judged or rejected can be overwhelming, and it can prevent you from living the life you want to live. In this video, I'm going to share my own experience with social anxiety and talk about the strategies that help me beat it. Whether you're someone who has been dealing with social anxiety for a long time or you're just starting to recognize the signs, I hope this video will be helpful to you. So, let's get started. First, let's talk about what social anxiety is and how it can affect people. Social anxiety is a type of anxiety disorder that is characterized by an intense fear of social situations. It can cause a wide range of symptoms, including sweating, trembling, and heart palpitations. For many people, social anxiety can be a serious barrier to living a fulfilling life. But the good news is that social anxiety is treatable. There are many different strategies and techniques you can use to manage your anxiety and overcome your fears. In this video, I'm going to share what worked for me and offer some actionable advice for anyone who is struggling with social anxiety. So, if you're ready to learn more about social anxiety and how to beat it, keep watching. My experience with social anxiety. In the previous section, we talked about what social anxiety is and how it can affect people. Now, I want to share my own experience with social anxiety. I've struggled with social anxiety for most of my life. For as long as I can remember, I've always felt uncomfortable in social situations. I was always afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing, and I was constantly worried about what other people thought of me. It got to the point where I would avoid social situations altogether. I would make up excuses to get out of going to parties or events, and I would often feel sick to my stomach just thinking about being in a social situation. But over time, I realized that my social anxiety was holding me back from the things I really wanted to do in life. I was missing out on opportunities to make new friends, advance in my career, and have fun. So, I decided to take action. I started doing research on social anxiety and different strategies for managing it. I read books, watched videos, and talked to people who had overcome their social anxiety. And over time, I started to see some progress. I was able to push myself out of my comfort zone and try new things. I started going to social events, meeting new people, and even giving presentations at work. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy. There were times when I felt like giving up, but I knew that if I wanted to live a fulfilling life, I had to face my fears and overcome my social anxiety. And I'm happy to say that today, I feel much more comfortable in social situations. I still get anxious from time to time, but I have the tools and strategies to manage my anxiety and push through it. So, if you're someone who is struggling with social anxiety, I want you to know that you're not alone. But I also want you to know that it is possible to overcome your anxiety and live the life you want to live. What helped me beat social anxiety? In the previous section, I shared my experience with social anxiety. Now, I want to talk about the strategies and techniques that helped me beat my social anxiety. The first thing that helped me was therapy. I started seeing a therapist who specialized in anxiety disorders, and it made a huge difference. Through therapy, I learned how to identify and challenge my negative thoughts, and I gained new tools for managing my anxiety. Another thing that helped me was exposure therapy. This is a type of therapy where you gradually expose yourself to the situations that make you anxious. At first, I started with small steps like going to a coffee shop by myself or attending a small social gathering. Over time, I was able to work up to bigger challenges. Mindfulness and meditation also played a big role in my recovery. I started practicing mindfulness exercises and meditation regularly, which helped me stay present in the moment and manage my anxiety more effectively. Another thing that helped me was exercise. I found that regular exercise, whether it was going for a walk or hitting the gym, helped me manage my anxiety and feel more confident in social situations. Finally, one of the most important things that helped me beat my social anxiety was support from friends and family. It can be really difficult to open up about your anxiety, but when I did, I found that the people in my life were incredibly supportive and understanding. So, those are the strategies and techniques that helped me beat my social anxiety. Of course, everyone is different, and what works for one person might not work for another. But I hope that some of these strategies will be helpful to you as you work to manage your anxiety. Actionable advice for others. In the previous sections, I shared my experience with social anxiety and the strategies that helped me overcome it. Now, I want to offer some actionable advice for anyone who is struggling with social anxiety. The first piece of advice I would give is to seek help. If you're struggling with social anxiety, don't be afraid to reach out to a mental health professional. A therapist or counselor can help you identify the root causes of your anxiety and give you tools to manage it. The second piece of advice is to practice self-care. Make sure you're taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. This might mean getting enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, and engaging in activities that make you feel good. The third piece of advice is to practice mindfulness. This can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths when you feel anxious or practicing meditation regularly. Mindfulness can help you stay present in the moment and manage your anxiety more effectively. The fourth piece of advice is to challenge your negative thoughts. When you start feeling anxious, take a step back and examine your thoughts. Are they based in reality or are they irrational? Try to reframe your thoughts in a more positive and realistic way. The fifth and final piece of advice is to take small steps. Don't try to tackle your social anxiety all at once. Instead, start with small steps, like attending a social gathering with a friend or practicing a conversation with a stranger. Over time, you can work up to bigger challenges. So, those are my 5 pieces of actionable advice for anyone who is struggling with social anxiety. Remember, everyone's journey is different, and it's important to be patient and kind to yourself as you work to overcome your anxiety. The importance of seeking help. Before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about the importance of seeking help for social anxiety. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that helped me overcome my own anxiety was working with a mental health professional. And I truly believe that seeking help is one of the most important things you can do if you're struggling with social anxiety. Social anxiety can be a difficult thing to manage on your own. It can lead to feelings of isolation, self-doubt, and even depression. And while there are things you can do on your own to manage your anxiety, there's no substitute for the guidance and support of a mental health professional. Working with a therapist or counselor can help you develop a deeper understanding of your anxiety and the root causes behind it. They can also help you develop effective coping strategies and teach you skills to manage your anxiety in the moment. It's important to remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a courageous and proactive step towards improving your mental health and well-being. And while it may seem intimidating or overwhelming at first, there are many resources available to help you find a mental health professional who is the right fit for you. Remember, there is no shame in seeking help for social anxiety. In fact, it's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. So if you're struggling with social anxiety, I encourage you to take that first step and seek out the support you need. Conclusion. And that's a wrap. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. We've covered a lot of ground today, from my personal experience with social anxiety to actionable advice for overcoming it. Remember, social anxiety is a common and treatable condition. It's not something that you have to live with forever. With the right tools and support, you can learn to manage your anxiety and live a fulfilling and joyful life. If you're struggling with social anxiety, know that you are not alone. There are millions of people out there who are going through the same thing. And while it may feel overwhelming at times, there is always hope for healing and growth. Remember to be kind and patient with yourself as you work towards overcoming your anxiety. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that is worth taking. And if you ever feel like you need extra support or guidance, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And as always, take care of yourself and those around you.